Welcome. In this subunit, we will provide you with an overview of fraud investigation. So let's get started. When an internal auditor confirms fraud, they should notify senior management, unless of course a senior manager is implicated, in which case the audit committee should be informed. The investigation should uncover the complete scope and details of the fraud, including whether any fraud actually occurred, the extent of any losses, the individuals involved, and the method of the fraud. Typically, internal auditors, lawyers, and other specialists conduct these investigations. All activities must adhere to local laws, and auditors should collaborate with legal counsel to understand relevant regulations. Management oversees the investigation by implementing controls, such as developing policies and procedures, preserving evidence, responding to findings, reporting, and of course, communicating. These aspects can be outlined in a fraud policy, which internal auditors may help evaluate. Policies and procedures should cover individual rights, investigator qualifications, relevant laws, and disciplinary actions for employees, suppliers, or customers, including legal measures. The roles and responsibilities of those involved, particularly the investigator and legal counsel, must be clearly defined. Internal communications about the investigation should be kept to a minimum. A policy should specify that the investigator is responsible for determining if fraud has occurred. Either the investigator or management decides on the occurrence of fraud, and management decides whether to inform external authorities. The internal audit function might be called upon to assist with or lead fraud investigations. This involvement can potentially threaten the independence and objectivity of internal auditors due to actual or perceived conflicts of interest. The chief audit executive must develop methods to address these impairments to objectivity. The internal audit function's role in investigation should be clearly defined in its charter and fraud policies and procedures. For instance, internal auditing may take primary responsibility, serve as a resource, or avoid involvement if it's responsible for assessing investigations or if it lacks the resources. Any role is acceptable as long as its impact on independence is acknowledged and managed appropriately. Internal auditors typically not only evaluate investigations, but also advise management on the process, including control improvements. To be effective, fraud investigation teams must have sufficient knowledge of things such as fraud schemes, investigation techniques, as well as relevant laws. The internal audit function may utilize in-house staff, outsourcing, or some combination of both. An investigation plan is created for each case. The lead investigator identifies the necessary knowledge, skills, and competencies. The process ensures that there are no potential conflicts of interest with those being investigated or any employees of the organization.